at 9:30 p.m.
Capital News tonight. Customs procedures and operations at Tunduma border suspended after Zambia closes its borders. Cargo lorries get stranded at Namanga border after the government of Kenya directs COVID-19 testing on drivers. And in sports, the Tanzania Olympic Committee tells leaders of sports associations it is not their job to help teens. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. Customs procedures and operations along the Tunduma border in Songwe region have been suspended indefinitely after the government of Zambia closed 2 entry gates into the country following directives given by the president of Zambia to close all borders of the country in order to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. The Region Commissioner of Songwe, Brigadier General Nicodemus Mwangela, has told Tanzanians to respect the directives.
I'm not sure for how long they will remain closed. However, they should reopen the border once they are ready. However, we are open, so please carry on with your work.
Lakini kwa upande mwingine ilitakiwa tupewe taarifa.
We should have been informed because we trade from this side. This will affect us because it is what we do to earn living. This disease is dangerous. Nonetheless, we should have been given notice and we are not sure how we are going to manage.
More than 300 cargo lorries traveling to Kenya have been stranded at the Namanga border after the drivers of the lorries were told they had to be tested for the coronavirus by experts from the government of Kenya. The District Commissioner of Longido, Frank Moisumbe, said that the move has created various challenges.
I've spoken to the Kajiado District Commissioner from the Kenyan side that the exercise going on is not being conducted as it should. So I've informed him if there is a need to check our drivers, then there must be a health representative from the Ministry of Health in Tanzania, but also a government representative from Tanzania. What is currently going on is invalid. So I've instructed lorry drivers, leaders from Tanzania, if it is necessary, either those who ordered the goods from Kenya should come to Namanga and collect their goods from there. The system used across the border is not bad because it concerns our well-being. However, the test where a sample is taken from the nostril is very painful. It will be better if a sample was taken from the mouth. If one test kit is used on more than one person, then it is possible for the infection to be passed to the next person.
Now, hundreds of small sugar traders today turned up at wholesale shops only to be told that was sold out. MOROGORO is among several regions in the country facing sugar scarcity.
sina zimeisha jamani. Zimeisha mimi naachaje kuuza kama sukari ipo sinauza jamani. Acha Mungu sina, Mungu wangu. Siwezi kuacha hela kama sukari ninayo. Naachaje hela?
Ukipata ndio foleni kama hivi. Kuanzia asubuhi unakapa mpaka saa 12.
Sugar is scarce. If you find a place with sugar, queues are this long. You might spend hours here, and yet you might not even get the commodity. We urge those responsible with sugar supply to have mercy on us. We are indeed suffering. I only had 10 sacks and they are all finished. I don't have enough sugar to sell to all these people. I bought the sack for 125,000 shillings. I am selling it for 127,000 shillings. Today we have received 90 tons of sugar, which was divided to wholesale traders. I want to let them know that we are following up on them. If we find a trader who sells sugar against the price we agreed upon, we shall take them to court for economic sabotage. The Minister of Land, Housing and Settlement Development, William Lukuvi, has tabled his ministry's budget for the 2020-2021 financial year, where he assured that measures will be taken to reduce land disputes as well as increase land surveying. Meanwhile, the Speaker of Parliament, Job Ndugai, has said he will protect members of Parliament who have been expelled from their parties, and that members of Parliament who have boycotted proceedings to follow procedures which will enable them to return.
Vilivyokuwa kwenye hifadhi mbalimbali vipimwe na vibaki katika maeneo yao.
Niendelee kuwapongeza sana wabunge ambao wameendelea kuhudhuria bunge hili la budget wote, na nawatia moyo muendelee, na kesho tutatoa orodha, maana kesho tunapiga mstari ya wale ambao hawajatii maelekezo ya kiti hadi sasa, na kwamba maelekezo yale bado yako pale pale.
More than 300 households in Simanjiro district, Manyara region have been affected by floods, which caused residents to flee their homes after they became engulfed with rainwater. The District Commissioner of Simanjiro, Zephania Chaula, has issued a 7-day deadline to flood victims to move from areas near water sources, as they will be allocated safer areas to make new settlements.
Ninawapa muda wa siku 7.
Within 7 days, plots of land must be allocated to victims in high-raised areas. This must be done free of charge.
Red Cross kama kisaidizi cha serikali wakati kama huu.
As a body that supports the government at a time like this, we do this as a duty. We don't consider this to be aid, because the law requires us to work with the government in times like this. There was so much water in a very short space of time. This has affected us economically too.
Executive Committee of Chadema Party has expelled 4 of its members of Parliament after holding a 2-day digital meeting. The Secretary General of Chadema, John Mnyika, said that members of Parliament Anthony Komu of Moshi Rural, Joseph Selasini of Rombo, David Silinde of Momba, and Wilfred Wakatare of Bukoba Urban were expelled after violating directives.
Kuwa Mheshimiwa Anthony Kalisti Komu.
The Central Committee has decided that Honorable Anthony Kalisti Komu and Honorable Joseph Selasini, despite the fact that they have lost qualities to be a Chadema party member, they have been disobeying orders given by the party. It has been decided that they are removed from the party.
Wameendelea kutoa kauli za kejeli, kashfa na kukiuka maagizo ya chama.
The government has a reserve of more than 425 million litres of fuel, which will enable economic activities to continue after producing countries become affected by coronavirus pandemic. This was said by the Minister of Energy, Dr. Menad Kalimani, when addressing fuel stakeholders and government leaders in Tanga region.
As I speak, we have 428.7 million litres of oil in surplus, which is enough for up to 60 to 70 days, and we are receiving more. I would like to urge oil dealers, especially those from the northern zone, to collect oil from the Tanga port, but price must be taken into consideration. There is 113,095,946 millilitres on 3 products, including petroleum, diesel, and kerosene. Commend GBP for choosing to stay open because of the coronavirus. GBP has continued to import oil and sell, ensuring Tanzanians stay in employment.
And the Defense and Security Committee in Zanzibar and municipal executives are implementing a shop and vehicles operation to ensure everyone is wearing a face mask. The committee has also warned that shop owners found without face masks will have their shops closed, being measures taken against the coronavirus pandemic.
Some had no hand wash facilities such as water and soap or sanitizers, and we've had to shut them down until they do so. This will be a warning to others. We've reduced congestion in various areas within the city. No business owner will be allowed to conduct business if he is not wearing a mask. The same applies to customers.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows next. Welcome back, and in international news, Kenya has confirmed 28 new coronavirus cases in the last 24 hours, bringing the total number of cases in the country to 700. Health Cabinet Administrative Secretary Rashid Aman said that out of the 28 new cases, 9 are Kenyan truck drivers who arrived in the country from Tanzania.
We have tested 841 samples, out of which 28 have tested positive for coronavirus. This number is distributed as follows. 10 of these cases are from Mombasa, 9 are from Kajiado, 7 from Nairobi, and 2 from Wajir. This brings to 700 the total number of those who have tested positive. Let me talk a little bit more about the cases from Kajiado, which of course is a concern when you see a large number being reported from a border county like Kajiado. The 9 cases from Kajiado are all Kenyan truck drivers who are returning from Tanzania and tested at the Namanga border point. These 9 cases were positive among the other drivers that were tested.
The government of Burundi has called the East African community to send observers to monitor the general election expected to be held on Wednesday next week. However, in a letter to the Secretary General of the East African Community, Burundi has requested the observers to undergo 14 days of quarantine because of the coronavirus pandemic. In regard with the ongoing pandemic election, rules and regulations have added a section where election observers must be kept in a quarantine for 14 days. This means that from international to East Africa community observers must follow the procedure. In efforts of making this exercise easy, we are advising that instead of observers go through that long procedure, they should rather send those who are already in the country representing those organizations and even the East Africa community to perform the task.
Kwa kulisimamia ama kuweza kulifuatilia inahitaji wasimamizi wengi.
Vital Kamerhe, President Felix Tshisekedi's chief of staff, has been accused of embezzling funds for a government infrastructure program. He and two other defendants, a Lebanese businessman and another presidential official, have been accused of embezzling almost $49 million from funds for building 4,500 prefabricated homes for poor people, and allegedly siphoned off another $2 million from a program to build housing for police and military in the capital, Kinshasa. The 61-year-old, who made a pact to back Tshisekedi in the 2018 election on expectations of succeeding him in the 2023, denies any wrongdoing. And that is the end of international news. Business news follows next after this break. We'll be right back.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news. The Ministry of Agriculture has said the problem of sugar shortage in the country has been contributed by the coronavirus pandemic, where about 40,000 tons of sugar imported from various countries has not been able to be transported after the countries closed their borders in order to prevent the coronavirus from spreading. The Cashew Board has said the government has started to pay debts for production of cashew nut seedlings in 6 regions, with 6 regions lined up for a payment. Many farmers are still complaining for their payments, although the government is already working on those payments, with 6 regions being paid so far. Meanwhile, 8 regions are still owing the government. I want to assure you that Cashew Board, through the Ministry of Agriculture, we are still doing the follow-ups. I would like to urge farmers to remain positive.
Tunaendelea kufuatilia yale madai na kwamba madai yote ambayo ni halali ya wadai wa miche yatalipwa na serikali.
The government has started to implement strategies aimed at rescuing the tourism sector for economic slump due to the coronavirus by meeting stakeholders from all regions and economic experts to look into ways of improving growth of the sector. We should come up with new ideas on how we shall survive amid the coronavirus without putting anyone at risk. It is important to consider social distancing, wearing masks, using sanitizers, and generally adhere to all necessary hygiene measures at this time. As a sector, we must discuss these things, setting up procedures and monitor the initiatives closely. Comprehensive report must be prepared to analyze immediate and long-term measures in combating this situation. And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Opposition, Joaquinho, he did lose to Lim.
Welcome back, and in sports news, the Tanzania Olympic Committee has told leaders of sports associations to stop complaining that the committee only supports teams in the last month before the competition, since it is not their job to help teams.
I think they haven't understood. It is not a must for the Olympic Committee to help in the last 30 days because the team belongs to the association. Association leaders should not complain because when they are candidates in the elections, they know they are contesting, knowing they have an association to run and wants the association to be successful.
Nasikia wanalalamika kuhusu serikali, kuhusu sijui kamati ya Olympic.
The Dar es Salaam athletics team coach Idi Muhunzi says his players are proceeding with intense training despite some of them fasting in the whole month of Ramadan.
They get angry, but their anger is like fuel to me, because if I laugh with them, the disadvantage is mine. When the day of competing comes and they win, that's when they will be happy. For now, they are angry that the training is hard, but I will still give them a good dose.
Siwezi mimi nikapunguza dozi hata kwa sababu mwezi wa Ramadhani, hapana.
The UK government has given the all clear for the Premier League and other professional sports to return behind closed doors from 1st June, providing its 5 tests on controlling the coronavirus are met. Here are more details.
In a 60-page document called Our Plan to Rebuild, which sets out in broad terms the government's strategy for recovery from the pandemic. Sport will be able to resume as part of the second stage of the government's recovery plan. This will permit cultural and sporting events to take place behind closed doors for broadcast while avoiding the risk of large-scale social contact. The document advises that organizations should prepare accordingly for any reopening, but states that any progress will be dependent on the government's 5 tests, which include a sustained and consistent fall in the daily death rate, as well as the rate of coronavirus infection decreasing to manageable levels.
5 players in Spain's top 2 divisions have tested positive for COVID-19 since clubs began testing players and staff members last week, with the Real Sociedad goalkeeper Alex Ramiro confirming himself as one of the cases. Here's more.
From La Liga said the players will remain at home, where they will continue individual training before being tested again in the next few days to determine whether they can return to their club's training ground. Many clubs have returned to individual training as part of the second stage of La Liga's 4-phase protocol for resuming the season after play was halted in early March. La Liga, which last week said it was hoping to play matches without spectators next month, said detecting positive cases was vital to its program for returning to activity.
And Bundesliga is keen to press ahead with plans to restart the season for the top 2 tiers next weekend, despite Dynamo Dresden's squad being quarantined for 2 weeks. Here's the story.
Dresden's players were sent home after 2 tested positive for coronavirus. This means the second-tier club cannot play their first 2 games of the restart against Hanover on 17th of May and against Farth the following weekend. However, speaking to ZDF, the Bundesliga chief executive Christian Seifert said that what had happened in Dresden, where the local authorities told the club the players had to be quarantined, did not mean the top 2 divisions could now kick off on Saturday, 16th of May. The delay for Dresden means they could enter the fray on the weekend of the 26th and 27th of May, although that will lead to them immediately playing 3 games in 1 week.
That sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. Thank you for watching and good night.